Hello there, it's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Smriti Vidyarthi with the top stories at this hour. The County Assembly's Forum now wants the proposed Ward Development Fund increased to at least 30% and ring-fenced in law through legislation and not leave it at the whims of governors. The Forum also wants the fund akin to the National Government Constituency Development Fund, where they run independently from the executive. They've been speaking on the sidelines of a two-day governors' summit on the BBI in Naivasha. Let's now listen in. All right, it seems that they are done with that presser they were set to give, but we will get more information from our reporter on the ground, that is Kennedy Muredi, and find out from him whether this is likely to put MCAs and governors on a collision course or not. All right, elsewhere, the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Keriako Tobiko, has urged his Maasai community to support and embrace the Building Bridges Initiative report, proposing changes to the Constitution. Speaking during the Nkang Orkiteng Sampu traditional ceremony in Mashuru sub-county, that's in Kajiado County, where more than 1,000 Morans graduated to young elders, CS Tobiko called on the Morans and various Maasai age groups to support the BBI, saying it will empower the young generation and steer the country towards prosperity. The CS, who was in the company of other leaders from the community, further said that they've lost many opportunities in the government from their past experience of opposing constitution review.
Wakajiado na hata wengine tuko pamoja na serikali ya Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, na tuna support handshake, tuna support BBI ili tupite huko, tuende huko mbele, alafu tufanye siasa hiyo ingine.
Na tunataka kumaliza kabisa ukabila. Ndio wakaleta BBI. Na wakaleta BBI wakasema we want shared prosperity in this country.
The nation has spoken. The Maa nation walked out of Lancaster Conference, and we regretted. We still regret why we walked out of Lancaster Conference. Well, you will be what? You will be the dish. You will be the dish. Huwezi kaa nje ya jikoni chakula ikikarangwa, halafu uanze kulalamika na hii chakula imewekwa chumvi mingi ama haina chumvi. Ingia ndani ya jikoni.
All right, from that, we can now cross over live to our senior political affairs reporter, that is Kennedy Muredi, who joins us now live from Naivasha. He has the very latest from that Governors' Summit on the BBI. Kennedy, what can you tell us?
Well, Smriti, a few minutes ago, the members of the County Assembly were able to walk out of a meeting that they are having with governors, and not walking out in a bad way, but they have decided, all of them, to go out and just have further discussions on this particular report. What we've been able to ascertain as of now is the fact that they have broken into different groups, where the governors will now be looking at issues that are specific to them, that they want to be included in the Building Bridges in actually the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020. And also the members of the County Assembly have gone out to consult further so that they come up with issues that are very specific to them. And this is also going to apply to deputy governors. They are still hopeful, or everybody here is still hopeful, that there is a probability that President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga will be making an appearance. But as of now, we have not seen any indications. Every time that these two people are either supposed to attend any function, there are indications that even have some of their security at a particular place. We have not seen any as of now. But what we are able to tell you right now is that in the session that has just ended, all of them were able to discuss issues that are that are cross-cutting. This is with regards to devolution, and they have been able to agree on these issues. What they cannot be able to tell us right now is that these issues, like the deputy governors yesterday, the issue was discussed, and it was actually a consensus between governors that it is not prudent that they give their deputies enough roles, because some of them might even use these roles to fight them, or some of these deputy governors do not want to face members of the county assemblies in the particular assemblies. But also the members of the county assemblies, that is the CAF, which is being represented by speakers, were able to speak to us on issues that are specific to them. And this is what they said to us earlier on when we did speak to them in the morning before they went into that meeting.
All the monies that come to the counties are supposed to go to the wards. That is, the county is about the wards. You cannot have a county without wards. And we are saying that the 5% allocation of all the revenues coming to the counties is not enough to trigger development within our counties. And we are saying the risk we would want to take in that is that percent. And that percent is that it be managed in a manner that is similar or equivalent to the CDF. And further, we are saying that we also require to have a county ward development fund manager, so that we don't have so many managers within the county. We have one for purposes of prudence in financial applications. And Parliament, there must be a clause within the report of the BBI directing Parliament to pass that law to operationalize the Ward Development Fund within 6 months. And if Parliament doesn't, the assemblies to take it upon themselves within their counties and create a law that will operationalize that fund.
The 30% minimum that we are asking to go to Ward Development Fund, we are seeking so that we protect the wards from the political machinations by the governors. Not all governors are very good governors. And you should understand that there are marginalization in the counties. This country, we are talking about marginalization of regions. In the counties, we are talking about marginalization of the wards and some sections of the ward, of the county. So we need to be able to ring fence.
Also, there is this question on qualifications that came up, and it has been a law since 2012, but has been postponed for quite some time. And members of the County Assembly are now saying that they were not included even in public participation when this law is going. And they are remaining adamant that they will be going to court to challenge that particular requirement, as they say that leadership does not actually require representation or does not require a school degree. And this is what they actually also had to say.
Allow the Kenyans to be able to make that decision on the kind of leader that they want. Whether they want a graduate like me from Tindred, or they want a mechanic like my member of County Assembly in Kapsabet, but he delivers. So I think we are very clear. We are only saying, let the Wananchi decide on this. We don't want to go into my discussion on whether they are going to do better legislation, oversight, representation. Fine. In that assembly, we'll have a mix of graduates, of diploma holders, of non-graduates, or people who have not gone to class. If they will not be able to deliver on the legislation, their people will be able to guide them.
Let the people be allowed that freedom to choose graduates. Why would you tell them that you have to elect between graduates? Give them an illiterate person, give them a Form 4, give them a graduate, let the people decide. That is the freedom that we fought for, the sovereignty of the Constitution and of the people, and the power of the people.
So, Smriti, we are keeping a close eye and a close ear on whatever is happening here. Those are concerns that have been raised by members of the County Assembly. We are waiting to hear from those concerns that will be raised by governors, including whereby they want to make Senate the upper house. So we are listening, and will be interesting to see what is happening. But right now, it's back to you, Smriti, in studio.
All right, Kennedy, thanks very much indeed. NTV's Kennedy Mureithi coming to us live from Naivasha, where that forum on the BBI is taking place. All right, now this morning, President Uhuru Kenyatta launched the Nairobi commuter rail system finally, and it is targeting to serve up to 230,000 passengers. The president has been speaking this morning, and we will be bringing you the latest as to what he has said regarding this commuter rail system. Certainly something to look forward to. Now, a section of legislators are pushing for the drafting of a bill that will see the introduction of the guaranteed minimum returns in the coffee, tea and dairy sectors. MPs under the Guaranteed Minimum Returns lobby are urging President Uhuru Kenyatta to make public the implementation framework of the BBI process and how it will address the issue of returns for farmers.
We propose the establishment of a guaranteed minimum return fund. The fund should constitute 5% of the nationally raised revenue singly dedicated to agricultural business stabilization. Each crop should independently be guaranteed of their share in the fund depending on its market share. This fund shall be used to stabilize each of the listed crops and farm produce whenever the markets return a lower than average expected price of the commodity.
What is of concern to us is the fact that now we are treating a very serious and sacred process such as the amendment of our constitution to the political whims of the day, where we are being told that if you have concerns, you only have to look for a 30-minute meeting with either President Uhuru or Raila Odinga. What about the rest of the Kenyans who don't have access to these two leaders? What is the avenue that is available to them to share their concerns with this particular BBI process? So if indeed it is true, as we are so often reminded that this BBI process has nothing to do with 2022 politics, then let the actions of the principals be clear about this. You remember there was a...
Yesterday, we highlighted the COVID-19 vaccine jointly developed by pharmaceutical giant Pfizer and BioNTech, which has shown promise of being 90% effective in its phase 3 trials. Well, these now are images of the vaccine being developed in Michigan in the United States. Preliminary findings have found that protection in patients was achieved 28 days after the first dose and 7 days after the second dose. The company said they expect to supply up to 50 million vaccine doses globally in 2020 and up to 1.3 billion doses in 2021. But the vaccine is yet to be peer-reviewed by experts, and there are also likely to be logistical problems in getting the vaccine to everyone, given that it must be kept at a super-cooled temperature. News of the potential vaccine was released as cases of the coronavirus continue to soar across the world. To some other good news, and the Oscars are coming our way, and Kenya has rather shortlisted 2 films to compete in the global awards. The Letter and Uradi have been submitted for the 93rd Academy Awards, that is the Oscars. The Letter is being submitted in the documentary film category and Uradi in the feature film category. The nominees for the 93rd Oscars Academy Awards will be announced on the 9th of February 2021, ahead of the Oscars scheduled for the 25th of April 2021.
Kwangu nilizaliwa mwaka wa 1900.
Filmed with a gentle pace and incredible closeness, The Letter depicts indestructible female power. It paints the picture of the trials and tribulations that the elderly in the county of Kilifi go through. Some are branded witches, and in the end, a number of them are killed as their families forcefully take their land. The moving documentary, produced by Mia Lukau and Christopher King with the support of DocuBox, has been submitted for the Best International Documentary Film category award at the 93rd Academy Awards, the Oscars.
I'm hopeful that you are all going to watch this film to get to understand exactly what the Kenyan Oscars committee has nominated and what it takes to have such a production, and also to encourage Kenyans to continue telling stories.
Uradi, a film produced by Kang'ethe Mungai, has also been submitted under the feature film category.
Process involved as looking at all the technical aspects in regards to the rules set by the Oscars, and I must tell you that the films that were submitted, they really did their best, And the industry, people are working really hard.
Kenyan producers, on the other hand, have been encouraged to keep aspiring higher and delivering international competitive content. In 2019, Kenya submitted Watu Wote for the Oscars, and in 2018, it put out Supermodel. The Academy is set to announce the nominees of the 93rd Oscars Academy Awards on the 9th of February 2021, ahead of the Oscars award ceremony scheduled for the 25th of April 2021. Helen Aura, NTV.
Go Kenya and good luck, Kenya. Something to look forward to in February next year. All right, we're taking a breather now on NTV at 1. Do stay with us. There's more on the other side.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Jumia Black Fridays, 15th November at 11:59 p.m. Amazing deals, unbeatable flash sales and discounts every single day. Jumia Black Fridays, even crazier with DTB, 5th November at 11:59 p.m.
New Blue Band Mayonnaise. Made from natural ingredients with omega-3 and 6 to enjoy long-lasting freshness and natural taste unlike any other mayo. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band Mayonnaise.
Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood. Life can be this good.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Welcome back. Now, there is a growing need to offer support to victims of female genital mutilation and gender-based violence. According to human rights organizations, training for social workers, religious institutions and school guidance counselors is critical in helping the victims. Due to stay-home directives during the pandemic, there has been a surge in the number of reported sexual and gender-based violence cases, teenage pregnancies and early marriages. The Isiolo Women of Faith Network highlighted these issues yesterday before members of the county and national government. The women's group adds that the lack of a rescue centre for girls and women coming from abusive situations in Isiolo is derailing efforts to weed out the retrogressive practices.
We advocate for the increased awareness and strengthening of available networks and avenues for monitoring in the counties. We advocate for the coordination of a systematic efforts from all the relevant stakeholders to ensure that there is harmful practices is eradicated. Communities, human rights organizations, religious institutions and governmental institutions need to combine their efforts.
Elsewhere, operational licenses for two major Nakuru nightclubs, that's Barcode and Sebs, have been withdrawn for flouting COVID-19 measures during the weekend. More than 130 people were arrested by police during the raid in different bar joints across the country. 2 people were released on a 20,000 shilling bond, while 88 others were released on a fine of 2,000 shillings. Police have, however, issued a warrant of arrest for 16 other people who are said to have gone missing after they were released on bail. Meanwhile, Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui has cautioned residents to prepare for stringent measures within the county if infection numbers continue to rise.
We were able to find a bar with over 500 people inside after midnight and in darkness, drinking while hiding, and also have noted that that habit continues in many places, not just in Nakuru. Barcode, another one called SEBS here in town, and we will suspend their license from today. They will not be in operation. And let this also be a warning to those who think that you can hide. You can hide from the police, but you can't hide from the virus. So we will not allow anybody to continue endangering the lives of our people in pursuit of economic or financial benefits. We will be making more restrictions in consultations also with the national government, and therefore on Thursday we will make an announcement on new containment measures for Nakuru that will affect businesses and other areas of operation, because we believe that the current national containment measures are good but not sufficient given the trends that we have already observed.
You have been warned. Now, the construction of the standard gauge railway in 2017 left the Nairobi National Park robbed of some of its glory. The 578.8-kilometre train rail linking Nairobi and Mombasa, passing through the world's only natural park in a city, destroyed flora and fauna. However, the AAR Healthcare, in collaboration with the Kenya Wildlife Service, is trying to improve this by planting seedlings that will rejuvenate the vegetation in the area. The construction of the railway in the park was at the centre of a big battle as conservationists decried the move.
We planted close to 150,000 trees. Every year we do have a different theme for taking care of the environment. So today our plan was to plant 5,000 trees. This is an event we do every year. We call it the annual tree planting for AAR Healthcare. It's part of our giving back to the community. So we call it Trees for Health.
During the construction phase of the SGR, a lot had to be done on the ground, digging, excavation, and all this kind of stuff. So that, of course, had an impact on the vegetation, which the animals utilize in different ways, from forage, to shelter and stuff. So now that the construction phase is over, we are trying to rehabilitate what was degraded.
Right on to the international scene, and US President Donald Trump, who is yet to concede election defeat, injected new volatility Monday by firing his Defense Secretary Mark Esper as President-elect Joe Biden made good on a promise to focus on leading the country out of the COVID-19 crisis. Biden has urged Americans to wear face masks, stressing it is not a political statement, but the most important step they can take to prevent the spread of the deadly coronavirus.
Construction works along major streets in the U.S. Capitol building in central Washington, D.C. have begun in earnest for the January 28th inauguration ceremony. But even as the job continues, an awkward and potentially chaotic transition period is underway, as current President Donald Trump continues to insist that the election was marred by fraudulent matters that need sorting out in court. Vice President Mike Pence was seen leaving the Eisenhower Executive Office building adjacent to the White House after reportedly addressing an all-staff meeting, according to U.S. media. The U.S. Vice President went on to tweet that he has told his team he is firmly behind efforts to keep counting legal votes as Trump refuses to concede election defeat. It ain't over till it's over, and this ain't over, he wrote. The Trump administration is also refusing traditional cooperation with Biden's team, so far denying him the normal transition package that includes office space, a budget, and expertise to prepare for the takeover. In another twist, Trump announced on Twitter that he has terminated Defense Secretary Mark Esper, a notable shuffling of such an important position so close to the end of a presidency. Trump and Esper had clashed in public over Esper's opposition to suggestions that military personnel could be used to quell civil unrest. President-elect Biden, meanwhile, forged ahead with his agenda, starting with the #1 campaign promise of trying to get the raging coronavirus pandemic under control. He held a first meeting of his own coronavirus task force just hours before the White House version, headed by Vice President Mike Pence, was due to gather. Beyond COVID, the Biden team say the President-elect and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will hold briefings with transition advisors in the afternoon. However, with Trump digging in his feet, it is far from clear how much the incoming administration will be able to do as the clock ticks down to Inauguration Day.
All right, time now to shift focus. It's the sports news. Watson Karuma is handling that. Watson.
Well, thank you very much, Smriti. And we start off from the Harambee Stars camp, where the captain, Victor Wanyama, is in the country ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Comoros. The team, comprising local and foreign-based players, has been in residential training for well over a week now and had to take COVID-19 tests in line with Ministry of Health and Confederation of African Football guidelines. Their opponents are expected in the country anytime today ahead of tomorrow's match at the Kasarani Stadium. Under CAF guidelines, the matches should be played behind closed doors, that is, without spectators. Now, Tokyo Olympics organizers said news of a coronavirus vaccine has a relief on Tuesday, but insisted their biosecurity planning for the postponed games remained unchanged. Olympic officials have regularly said that a coronavirus vaccine is not a precondition for staging the games, now scheduled to open a year late in July of 2021, that is next year. The news is likely to be a shot in the arm for Japanese officials and their Olympic counterparts, who have faced skepticism about whether the games can be held next year if the pandemic is not under control. Now, the South African Football Association, SAFA, has explained the decision to submit Mamelodi Sundowns owner Patrice Motsepe, candidate for the Confederation of African Football CAF presidency. The CAF Executive Committee, which current SAFA president Danny Jordan serves as third vice president behind Fuzi Lekjar and Ahmad, is set to hold their elective General Assembly on the 12th of March 2021 in Rabat, Morocco. In what marks the end of the four-year term of Ahmad, the CAF Exco Committee and FIFA Council, Motsepe and Jack Onuma of Ivory Coast are two of the confirmed candidates submitted for the upcoming elections.
An English-speaking person was never the president of CAF since its formation. From the south of Africa has never produced a CAF president. It's a unique opportunity. Let's think of the matter of principles rather than of personalities.
Would need a person who has affinity to the mother continent, and he has that. Somebody who will have passion. We have seen Motsepe, coming out very clear in terms of his sense of duty.
Now, next up is something of a wonder. Growing up, I had one. That's the Rubik's Cube. And together with my friends growing up, we couldn't manage to actually match the colors. But hey, there's a World Cup. And as the iconic Rubik's Cube celebrates 40 years, American Max Park and Australian Felix Zemdegs went head-to-head at the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup final, taking place entirely online for the first time ever. More than 2,000 entrants were whittled down to 14 of the fastest solvers. The two-time 2019 champion Max Park won the mixed speed cubing event following a lightning-quick final score of 5.1 seconds. Guys, 5.1 seconds, with current world record holder Zemdegs at 6.04 seconds. All finalists were able to compete in the World Cup by using the brand new fully digital Rubik's Connected Cube, which tracks players every rotation and solve times via an app.
Because it's averaging, it's like a low 6. Yeah.
Wow, that does it from this side of the news desk. That's the sports desk. Smriti, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. Pretty amazing. I think we need to get one of those Rubik's Cubes here in the office and challenge it ourselves. Of course, sanitize between each time, but it would be fun to see what we could come up with. I doubt anyone would get close to what they got to in that professional competition. Watson, thanks so much. You have been watching NTV at One. Thanks for your company. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. Do stay tuned. More news coming your way. Do catch up with us once again at 7 p.m. and I will be back with you on NTV tonight at 9 o'clock. Bye-bye.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple